What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we need to talk about Palantir. I want to go over some of the current data points, what's been coming out from the company itself, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So currently it is up 4.97%. Broader market is rallying. Obviously, people's appetite for risk has increased. And Palantir right now is bouncing off of a very strong resistance level. So I'm going to go over all that in the technicals and obviously where I see things going from here. 34.1 million shares being traded today. 53.3 is the average. Of course, there was news that did come out. So Option Healthcare selects Palantir's platform for enterprise-wide digital transformation, although it does say right here that it's only expecting to use Palantir's platform. Regardless, I feel like this is a good thing overall if they are able to kind of lock that in and get a good sum for that based on that contract. Aside from that, though, there hasn't been any recent analyst ratings. So last one was done about 3 days ago. Jefferies, Brent Thill, if I'm saying that right, 42% success rating and a $13 price target. So that in among itself did cause a little bit of a downtrend. I did buy that dip, didn't catch anywhere near the low, but I bought in at 16.20. And I did some cover calls straight away. But regardless, I feel like a lot of analysts aren't as optimistic as retail is on Palantir because plain and simple, just the metrics. A lot of people are starting to look at the multiples on Palantir and just seeing it as kind of overdone, despite the technicals. So that's just obviously analysts' viewpoint on that. They have been wrong time and time again. It's very hard to analyze exactly what the appropriate evaluation should be on Palantir because it's such an innovative company. So it's kind of hard to do that. But moving on though, as far as what shorts are doing, I'll give you a quick overview of that. Obviously, Palantir isn't a short squeeze play by any means. I just like to bring this up as a benchmark, but shorts are currently increasing 2.52 million shares. And right now, 5.92% of the free float is being shorted. 114.76 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is a little bit lower in comparison to yesterday, so 0.35%. And through Interactive Broker, short availability does indicate that there is more than 10 million shares available to be shorted. So this is why I like to analyze information, because these are the individuals that are assuming Palantir is going to go down. And by them increasing on a very much green day, it shows that they feel it's unjustified. So just take that for what you will. Looking at options activity though, $14 million in calls being purchased versus 4.88 million in puts. Sentiment wise, 53% of all the options activity being done today is optimistic. Of the call options that are being purchased, there is a consensus that is going to be above 1750 by the end of this week, so Friday. Looking at puts, it's anticipated to be sub about 1650. So both kind of make sense when it comes down to the technicals. If you are a fan of the Elliott wave, I'll quickly give you a good overview of what that is saying. And all this information is on Interactive Brokers, so if you are looking for a lot of good information, such as analyst ratings, forecasts for upcoming earnings, Elliott wave, take a look at Interactive Brokers, link in the description below and also the comments for all this to be completely free. But based on the Elliott wave, which is a very popular technical viewpoint, it does have the pivot point at $17. So for as long as Palantir is below $17, it is anticipated to go as low as $13, or I guess between $13 and $13.60, which is kind of extreme, but that is somewhat matching with what analysts are forecasting as well, based on their ratings. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think that is reasonable to expect between this range, or do you think it is going to continue higher? Of course, if it does stay above 17, then it's anticipated between 1820 and 1890. So what's your thoughts on that? But when it comes down to technical analysis, I actually like to look at some of the fib levels and coincide it with some other indicators. So looking at the fib levels right now, with it at 1681, it is between this S2 and this S1. So it did bounce off of a very strong support of this S1. So as it stands, 1693 is a very strong resistance, vice versa 1617, which coincidentally was the low for today. So it bounced off of both extremes today, but 1617 is going to be a very strong support that you'll want to watch going forward. And especially with CPI coming out on Thursday, so January the 11th, there's going to be a lot more volatility in the foreseeable future. So I see a lot of people jumping up and down because of the successful day, but I feel like this is also at the same time more of just a value rally, potentially. A lot of optimism. Risk has definitely increased for today. People are kind of just buying almost anything out there. but the technicals, there's a lot of things that it's fighting with, because even looking on the actual chart, just zooming out, it still is lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, and it does have that 100-day moving average that it bounced off of as well. So that's 1685. So it has two very tight resistance levels. In my opinion, I feel like Palantir can't really get over that as of right now, but I feel like over the next couple of days it will consolidate, and if there is some good CPI data coming out, that'll be enough to have it break into higher highs, back into the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band. Number of retail investors are slowly getting in today, similar to looking at this. These are some of the transactions that have occurred so far today on the secondary market. So big money is buying, as is retail. So that's definitely a very positive sign. Looking at stochastic, starting today, there's a nice deviation. So black line above the red showing a bullish underlying sentiment. Definitely a good thing. Like I said, it's up 5-point-something%, despite shorts not really believing it's justified. But with all that though, stochastic is at 10, so it is considered oversold. So I feel like a lot of analysts are starting to come out saying, you know what, the broader market has pulled back enough that everything is good to potentially go up higher. Just in my opinion, I feel like a lot of people are just sitting on the edge of their seats, and or maybe potentially in cash and waiting for CPI data, because if CPI data is positive, you are going to see the Feds potentially cut sooner rather than later. So that's just kind of the mentality of that. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that's realistic, or do you think that there's more cuts going to be like later, potentially maybe July or second half of 2024? What's your viewpoint on all that? As well, with Palantir, where do you see things going? Do you think it's going to just bounce up higher into maybe the $18, $19 range or 20s, or do you agree with the technicals and as well the analysts that it's going to retrace back to maybe 14, 13? What's your thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, take advantage of this promo. It's been extended up until January the 15th. Sign up for an account with Moo, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So this is one of the best deals. Throw $100 at it and you get 5 stocks. Crazy stuff. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.